We have all read our share of advice columns in newspapers and magazines. Ann Landers, Dear Abby.
Oh, yeah.
We know those. But what about a guy named Dale who hailed from Whaleyville? Doesn't ring a bell?
No. But believe it or not, the advice that Dale published in a national magazine inspired millions of people around the world to lead better, healthier lives. It helped countless addicts stay on the straight and narrow, and it's still doing that work today. Jim Duffy from Secrets of the Eastern Shore is here with a story behind the guy in the glass. Ooh, so intriguing.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Glad you're here. You like the set.
Good to be back.
like
Happy
it?
New Year. I feel like I should have worn like my tuxedo or something.
Oh, in our, yeah.
Welcome. This is all these fancy
no, this
new
is
surroundings
we're
with
cash.
the new car smell here.
Right.
It's all good.
We call it the new studio smell.
The new studio
That's what we
smell.
call it.
Sorry.
Okay,
sorry,
so we're talking about this. the guy named-
1930s.
1930s. Guy named Dale Wimbrough.
Okay.
Someday I'm going to have to come on and we'll do a segment about how he became famous, which was as a singer in the 1920s.
Oh, okay.
But he's still young, he's in his 30s, and he starts to lose his voice. And the reason why he starts to lose his voice is he was a World War I veteran, did time kind of on the front lines there. There was a lot of mustard gas going around, led to a lot of health problems, including losing his voice. So he starts looking for alternate careers. He tries to become a painter and a photographer, and his eyesight starts to go. So he's one of these people who people kind of remember, you know. The song comes on and you're like, who was that? Who was that? He's in that category of celebrity. Yeah. When a magazine called The American gets in touch with him and asks him to be part of a group of these partial celebrities who are going to be part of an advice column. Okay. And a young girl writes in, and she has seen her father, a very good man, get very mistreated in life. And she writes and she asks, what is the point of growing up to be a good person after I've watched my good father get mistreated and abused in life? All right? So, in response to this woman, young girl, Dale Wimbrough writes this poem, The Guy in the Glass, it's called. I'll give you one little stanza, the last stanza. You can fool the whole world down the pathway of years and get pats on the back as you pass. But your final reward will be heartaches and tears if you've cheated the guy in the glass. It takes off in this kind of slow motion viral way of the 1940s and 1950s where people are writing it down and sending it by snail mail or sharing it with their cousin Joe who's having a little bit of trouble. Okay. And it really builds up steam over the course of 15, 20 years. The group that really latched onto it was Alcoholics Anonymous. So it was a huge deal. The poem, they would give the poem to all like the new people who showed up at AA meetings. It became a big deal in sports too. The Hall of Fame football coach Bill Parcells, he recited the poem at his retirement press conference as something that inspired him through life.
So Dale should have probably got a lot of credit for this.
That's where things get really kind of fascinating. The poem got detached from his name. So, you know, people are sharing it by snail mail and things like that.
But not his name.
And not his name. So it's getting republished everywhere, but it's republished as either anonymous or under the name of people who didn't write it. Like somebody says, my cousin wrote it, maybe their cousin sent it to him and didn't have the name, and you know, whatever it is. One guy in Catonsville, Maryland, even published it in a book of his own poems as if he had written it. And as you might imagine, this upset Dale Wimbrough during his life. He actually sued that guy in Catonsville. But it's published everywhere under the wrong name. And we go back to the advice column thing. It was Ann Landers in the 1980s published the poem to inspire someone who had written in about his troubles with addiction, attributed to the wrong person, and letters started coming in from all over the country. No, my cousin Jane from Schenectady wrote it. No, you know, my grandfather wrote it, and there's all these legends about who wrote the poem, and one of those letters came in from Dale Wimbrough's son, and so Ann Landers got her crack research staff on it, and indeed then published in all the newspapers all over the country. I got it wrong. It was actually written by Dale Wimbrough from Whaleyville, Maryland, and he's the one who's inspired all these people through all of these decades.
How about that?
Wow.
Another fantastic story, Jim. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Always good to have you.